Hello everyone and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Yamabuki for the Revolution format. I'm Caillou, and today we're going to be watching the round 1 match between Rodzos, who is playing Fossils, which, using the titular fossil cards, aims to play a controlling graveyard-based game plan that essentially grinds the opponent out of the game and then quickly kills them with Wicked Fossil and Titanic Fossil. On the other end of the table, we have Kilgaris, who is playing Hyenas, which is a red-black aggro deck, which kind of aims to uh, circumvent some of what Rodzos' deck is doing, because Rodzos has a lot of sorcery speed removal and such that through dashing, the Hyena tribe can naturally avoid. So, looks like gonna Instincts of the Pack to shock Rodzos for 2. Doesn't actually want to attack in with the Rabid Whelps because if Rodzos, sorry, um, if Kilgaris attacks in with the Rabid Whelps, it'll just get eaten by the Ghastly Spirit. But this is kind of a problem because Rodzos needs to, at this point, play the transformed Wicked Fossil from his graveyard, most likely, so that because Wicked Fossil on its flip allows you to gain 2 life on attacks. So it'll be able to mitigate, like, basically the clock that Kilgaris has, which is just each turn, double Rabid Whelps, draw a card with Skill Link, and deal 4. And then has like a bunch of other burn to also clean up. So, and yep, here comes a Wicked Fossil. Wicked Fossil, how much toughness does it have again? Let's see. 3 toughness. So, Ferocious Flame won't be able to get it. Violent Discharge will. So could on Rodzos' upkeep, Ferocious Flame Ghastly Spirit, and then Violent Discharge the Arisen Hunter. But really needs a 4th land here, both for Vlad Shi and also needs another red source so they can like dash stuff while like advancing their game plan. But yeah, I think Kilgaris' best hope here is just pass on upkeep, Ferocious Flame Spirit, Violent Discharge the Arisen Hunter. It would be nice if one of these hyenas could get up to 4 power, but it can't, so. Okay, it looks like it's just going to hard cast the Violent Discharge for full value on the Risen Hunter. I kind of disagree with this, because this way Rodzos still has the Ghastly Spirit. Though I guess the thought is, hey, the Ghastly Spirit provides a clock, but it doesn't clock faster than Shifang Ambusher plus Rabid Whelps dealing 5 a turn. And then I can save the Ferocious Flame for face if something happens to my creatures. If you're Rodzos, I think, how many Wicked Fossils does Rodzos have in his list? Because he has 1 in hand. If he only has 2 in deck, that's kind of a problem. If he has more, then I think you just Windmill Slam Paleontologist and get another Wicked Fossil. Because again, I think that is Rodzos' main source of life gain other than Merkaltz, which is a 4/4 lifelinker. I'm not sure if Rodzos is on Merkaltz. Different builds run different threats. But yeah, is going to play the Paleontologist. It looks like has a single copy of Merkalt and has 3 Wicked Fossils. So we'll be able to find one and gets a copy of Titanic Fossil as the last one. Oh yeah, and okay, it's going to play Wicked Fossil from hand anyway. So it's still making it quite hard for Kilgaris to go the distance here. And is Rodzos going to keep the Spirit back just to block? I could see that being a reasonable play, but I also think that I think that you can just trade the Paleontologist and then take some damage while also chipping in with the Spirit. But I guess versus aggro, you kind of just want to survive. So Rodzos' thought is, hey, Wicked Fossils are clock fast enough anyways. I'll just keep the Spirit back so I don't die to something dumb, essentially. Okay, another Violent Discharge, really what Kilgaris needed, if not a land. But okay, he's going to dash in the Rabid Whelps, pokes for 2. Then, is doing Rabid Whelps again. Okay, pokes for another 2. Is Kilgaris just going to swing this turn? Because I think you would only play Rabid Whelps over the Shifang if you're actually planning to swing with both and force a trade. I feel like you should have played the Shifang Ambusher. Okay, thanks to Skill Link, is going to draw a card, immediately gets another land, but it's a black source. These swamps hurting so much with this all red hand. He's going to swing with the Rabid Whelps. I kind of disagree with this because now, so trades with the Paleontologist and the Ghastly Spirit, but now Kilgaris doesn't have a way to trigger Skill Link because only has Shifang Ambusher as a dashable. Or if they get one more red source, they can dash Vlad Shi plus Shifang Ambusher. but they don't have that right now. Otherwise, they have to hemorrhage burn spells. See, I think that was kind of a bad attack. Like, realistically, I think what they should have done is dashed in Shifang Ambusher, shoot for 3. When Rodzos goes to reanimate Wicked Fossil this turn, just kill it with Violent Discharge. Or if they go for Titanic Fossil, you're pretty fine with it. Yeah, but now this is just gonna swing for 6. So yeah, this is death next turn because Arisen Hunter swings for 6, and then swings for another 6 next turn, and then can crack the Wicked Fossil to drain Kilgaris for 2. On end, Kilgaris is going to crack the clue from the earlier... recurred it. The earlier Conspicuous Homicide. Oh, so much burn! Just not the right mana. Dashes in Shifang Ambusher, going to deal 4 to face, because 1 from the ETB, 2 from instant attack, 1 from the attack. And then probably you want to Lightning Splinters. And another Black Source. Yeah, this deck's mana base is looking very sus right now. I don't know how many swamps Kilgaris has, but it's entirely too many if this one game is anything to go by. Okay, swings in with Shifang, pokes for 1. And then probably Lightning Splinters, I would imagine. Because the others are instant, so they have more utility. No, okay, it's running out of Violent Discharge. Okay, I'm going to Violent Discharge the Arisen Hunter. The problem is, Kilgaris messed up. Because they're still dead. They shouldn't have... realistically, they shouldn't have played the Shifang Ambusher. Because now, Rodzos cracks the Wicked Fossil and now just reanimates it, swings for 6, wins. What could have happened was, instead, if Kilgaris had held up double Violent Discharge, could have hit one with Violent Discharge, the other Violent Discharge would have been cheapened, killed the other Arisen Hunter, and kept themselves in the game. As is, though, game 1 goes to Rodzos. Kilgaris did have, like, a powerful engine, but again... The steady stream of life gainers and Kilgaris being off that 4th land and off red sources for so long eventually let Rodzos claw their way back into the game, especially with Kilgaris making some timely misplays towards the latter half of that game. Looking at sideboarding, Fall of Hyenas is kind of a shoo-in versus Aggro. I think you want Onagul's Fall just because it's instant speed removal, and really, other than that, I think you're pretty good. Like... I don't think it's ideal that they only have 5 instant speed removal spells, but I think that kind of have to make do at this point. Meanwhile, on Kilgaris' end, has a very straightforward sideboard. Okay, you probably bring in, like, you don't bring in the full cohort of Mystery Stones because this isn't Reanimator. You're not worried about getting outraced. You usually only need 1 a game. It's probably like 2 Mystery Stones, and I don't even know if the Duresses are worth it here, to be honest, but I could see bringing in the Duresses as like an anti-control measure. I kind of feel like you want to try and just, rather than dilute your deck, just try to go under them, but your mileage may vary, so we'll see what Kilgaris decides to do. I think it's very possible to overboard in this matchup, though. Okay, so getting into Game 2, both players with somewhat dubious hands. Kilgaris does have the Mystery Stones to be able to kind of smooth out their next few draws, and also to provide a threat of interaction against Rodzos. And also turn 2 Death Raider Elite, pretty not bad. Can just keep dashing it out. Meanwhile, on Rodzos' end, no plays until turn 4 is kind of scary. Technically has Stone Circle, but again, drawing another land. Yeah, this is kind of not where you want. You need to have that early interaction. And it's only thanks to the fact that Kilgaris has a similarly, I would say, mediocre hand that I think that Rodzos even has a chance in this game. Like, essentially, the Skill Link is a dead card until Kilgaris can get something else to turn it on. Okay, Hunt Scent Pillagers. Yeah, okay, it's just going to run that out normally. That's a good 2-drop. And then next turn can Death Raider Elite for essentially attacking for 7 on turn 3. Pretty not bad. Oh, Conspicuous Homicide is an insane top deck for Rodzos. I think without that, Kilgaris probably would have just run away with the game, even with Rodzos having a Feast of Crows. Because again, Death Raider Elite being dashable, kind of insane. But yeah, Conspicuous Homicide coming down is really gonna, like, taking 4 damage off the board just like that is pretty insane. Okay, Kilgaris getting another mountain. Are they gonna hardcast? They're not gonna hardcast to Death Raider Elite. They're gonna play the Skill Link. Death Raider Elite dashed in and swing in for 3. And again, the mana disadvantage matters, but only because of stuff like Mystery Stones and the Clue. Otherwise, again, their hand is mostly empty. So, and Rodzos continues, other than Conspicuous Homicide, just drawing lands. Next turn, probably going to run out the Ghastly Spirit. But again, Death Raider Elite is not just a 3/3 with haste when dash, it also has Menace. But it looks like Kilgaris also going to be drawing some annoying lands here. Decadent Hall coming down. Okay, swings in for another 3 with the Death Raider Elite. Main 2 is going to he's going to Violent Discharge face to try and get that Skill Link trigger off. Ooh, another land. I kind of feel like, I was going to say, I kind of feel like you play the Swamp this turn so that you can crack the Mystery Stones on end. That moves the Death Raider Elite back to hand. Because, again, without the Instincts of the Pack, the 3-mana enchantment that domes for 2 every time a Hyena enters, you kind of don't have consistent ways to turn on Skill Link. Okay, Rodzos going to run out the Ghastly Spirit. Can get back the Conspicuous Homicide. Again, the Homicide is not very good versus the Death Raider Elite. I think would kind of prefer the Thin the Veil here, honestly. Yeah, I can see it, honestly. Thin the Veil or Dark Bargain. Dark Bargain loses you life, so probably not as good. But I could definitely see you grab Thin the Veil here. If Rodzos had one more type engrave, I think this would be a fairly easy Mercult. But if not, you can just go Thin the Veil into Paleontologist next turn, and then just Wicked Fossil them out of the game. Because again, the Homicide is mostly dead here. It's good removal, but not if they're just good. Their entire game plan is dash, 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 dash. And another good thing about Paleontologist is it means it gives you another if you Thin the Veil for Paleontologist, is it gives you another creature which you can use to then double block the Death Raider Elite. So yeah, I think that Thin the Veil and then Paleontologist next turn is probably the best move. Ooh, an alternate 3 I just realized is Gate of Realms, which can just come down and lock down the board. Okay, gonna play the top decked Instincts of the Pack. Okay. And has, I think one mistake here is that Kilgaris didn't immediately crack the Mystery Stones. I actually think that you want to just insta-crack it, exile Rodzos' graveyard so that they don't get to free cast something off Thin the Veil. Because again, free cast Gate of Realms or free cast, Gate of Realms less so, because you can still dash the Death Raider Elite and deal 5 next turn, and then potentially put together a win somehow from that. But yeah, dashing in them getting a Paleontologist, I think kind of just hoses you. Though I guess actually the idea is if they get a Paleontologist, you just exile their graveyard before they can untap anyways. So I suppose Thin the Veil for Gate of Realms is probably Rodzos' best move here. Another maybe more risky move I could see is if Rodzos is worried about Mystery Stones in response to Thin the Veil, could play a land, Thin the Veil for Crucify, so that has a removal spell for the Death Raider Elite, which costs 4 life, which is pretty hefty versus Kilgaris' burn heavy deck, but it's the only card left in Kilgaris' hand. So, damn, but Rodzos runs out Thin the Veil, and Kilgaris allows it to resolve without Mystery Stonings. I think this is kind of a double punt. Of course, again, Kilgaris could be waiting for, they get Paleontologist, and then put stuff in grave. But yeah, no. Instead, Rodzos is just going to get the Gate of Realms, gets to free cast it. Okay, so once Rodzos untaps with Gate of Realms, that's huge. Because it means that, I guess I should say if, because you're going to eat 2 from the Rabbit Whelps, 2 from the Death Raider Elite. Death Raider Elite is going to swing in for 3 Menace, unblockable essentially. And then Kilgaris drew a Mystery Stones. If this was burn, it would be so much better. And then Rabbit Whelps gets to attack with the Rabbit Whelps. Why are you not attacking with the Rabbit Whelps? At worst, you force Rodzos to not even trade because of the Death Raider. I don't know. Yeah, you trade with the Rabbit Whelps, but I guess the thought is this allows you. Next turn you can double dash and then deal 4 damage. I guess is the thought. Okay, that's actually reasonably fair. Okay. And then, that makes sense. And you want to double dash to potentially draw into a burn spell. Okay. So, this is still very much in Kilgaris' favor, though the Gate of Realms being able to shoot the Death Raider elite means that Rodzos is not straight up dead. Has been trying hella hands though. So wait, if you play Campbell, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, and the cost should actually be 10. So Gate of Realms will cost 4 to activate, and then won't have enough for Campbell. Then I guess you just play Luxury District, or I guess you play Ice Path, Luxury District, one of those two. It's not like Rodzos is thinking, but it's not like he has many choices. Nothing out of the grave. Only 2 choices are like what land to play, and then are you going to play Feast of Crows, which I think playing Feast of Crows would just be punting because then you can't kill the Death Raider elite. So, see, I've just played the Luxury District and passed. Oh, and Kilgaris top decking a mountain. Okay, Rabid Whelp's coming down. Moment of truth. If Kilgaris top decks a burn spell off of the skill link, they kind of just win. Oh, nope, it's just another land. Well, they do have double Mystery Stones as a draw. Okay, so before combat, Rodzos is gonna Gate of Realms, kill Death Raider elite. Yeah, so now you want to keep the. Okay, so it's gonna crack the clue. Another land. Yeah, so Rabid Whelp still kills next turn. Rodzos needs to untap, and then play Kemble, and then can now use Kemble to keep gaining life to offset the Rabid Whelps, which is probably one of the most insane things I've seen. Kilgaris stays top decking these lands. I think Kilgaris needs to double pop the Mystery Stones right now and hope to hit burn. Like, you cannot let Rodzos untap and like capitalize on this advantage. Okay, is cracking Mystery Stones. Does Kilgaris realize that they can crack Mystery Stones in response to Mystery Stones to X? No, they don't. They're only going to single crack Mystery Stones and draw into a Death Raider elite, and that's game. Whew. And in a close finish, Kilgaris manages to swoop out from under Rodzos and take game 2. And yeah, I think the main thing is that like we're seeing how like once the deck gets Instincts of the Pack out, whew, and especially Instincts of the Pack plus Skill Link is kind of just game ending. And we're also seeing how good the dashing is. Without the dash, Feast of Crows would end most normal aggro decks. In this matchup, it was kind of just stuck in Rodzos' hand. It could use it to buy some time, but not really, because again, they have more than 1 toughness, and then Kilgaris would just spend that turn dashing out to deal 4 more damage with Instincts of the Pack. So, Kilgaris just skirting by there, and I think that was also with Rodzos having a not-so-great hand, and kind of slow plays. So let's see if in Game 3, Kilgaris can still win, or if Rodzos will have more early interaction to stymie those plans. Well, okay, I think this is a good opener from Kilgaris, honestly. Hunt Scent Pillagers is not bad. You have Mystery Stones, you have both of your colors, you have Burn, you have Skill Link. Yeah, very keepable. On Rodzos' end, Gate of Realms is kind of insane. You have Kemble, which is quite good. Feast of Crows. Turn 2 Stroke of Nation. I don't know why Rodzos brought in the Stroke of Nations. Maybe to deal with the Instincts of the Pack because he doesn't have any other way to deal with it. I guess that makes sense, but... Oh, and this is a keep 6. Okay, so it ends up bottoming the Gate of Realms? Oh, I think that's a mistake. I would 100% bottom Ghastly Spirit here every time. Because again, Gate of Realms is a repeatable instant speed removal that just wins you the game. I think that putting Gate of Realms on the bottom, and it fills out your curve so well, because now you have nothing to do on turn 3. So yeah, I think that was a huge punt from Rodzos, and I don't know if it'll come back to bite them, but we'll see. Okay, Rodzos running out the turn 2 Stroke of Nations. Think you probably just take Skill Link here? I don't know. It's hard to say. I think you can take Skill Link here, and then Feast of Crows can take care of the Hunt Scent Pillagers. Violent Discharge is burn, but you kind of don't care about it, I feel like. Yeah, and Rabid Whelps is annoying, but far less annoying with Skill. Yeah, so Rodzos going to yoink the Skill Link. Damn it, what a top deck from Rodzos. Another Stroke of Nations. And, whoa, the top deck mode of Stroke of Nations coming in clutch here. You definitely want to yoink that Instincts of the Pack. We've seen how strong it is in these matchups. So I think that's a free, you just take the Instincts of the Pack, and next turn, Kilgaris, again, these swamps hurting Kilgaris so much, only has one red source, so can't Hunt Sent Pillagers into Dash in the Rabid Whelps next turn. So we'll just play the Hunt Sent Pillagers next turn, swing for 3, and then Rodzos untaps, plays Feast of the Crows, and that's pretty much GG. And yeah, okay, we missed a little bit there. It looks like Rodzos ended up taking Rabid Whelps with the Stroke of Nishans, and then plays Feast of the Crows just to kill the Hunt Sent Pillagers. I think not taking the Instincts of the Pack is something of a decision from Rodzos. So yeah, because now Instincts of the Pack, Death Raider Elite's going to swing in for 4. Rodzos does have Ghastly Spirit starting next turn and does have Kemble to offset life loss. But like, again, Instincts of the Pack being repeatable burn is what lost Rodzos the last game. Ooh, that top deck Thin the Veil is actually not insane because you can only get, you can't free cast anything, but I think you just get Paleo and you're fine with it. Am I crazy? I think you just get Paleo and you're fine with it is the reality. That or Mercalt. Paleo or Mercalt. Actually, maybe Mercalt so you can insta-play it next turn. Yeah, both Paleo and Mercalt are quite good. I can also see committing to the board right now with Ghastly Spirit and then just hoping to hit something relevant in your top 4. It also fills up the grave for Thin the Veil so that you can free cast something, so I don't mind that either. Okay, so it looks like is going to Thin the Veil for Mercalt next turn. And yeah, Mercalt is quite difficult for the deck to answer. Okay, and Kilgaris, again, these swamps, I really think that Kilgaris' mana base is killing him right now, just murderizing him. Because now, even if he gets if he top decks another burn spell, he won't be able to actually cast it because he only has a single red source, so won't be able to kill Mercalt. So now, Mercalt's going to come down. Next turn, Kilgaris, okay, Kilgaris can't win. I'm trying to think of, like, what lines there are for Kilgaris to win next turn. I just don't think there are any. Actually, Mistreat Stones, I think you crack one of the Mistreat Stones on end just to draw a card. Because if you hit... Because if you need to hit a land and a burn spell to win. Another Instincts of the Pack, not it. Okay, well, there's a land. So now... not quite lethal? Well, I guess, okay, you play Hunt Sent Pillagers. Okay, wait, Instincts of the Pack, then you play Hunt Sent Pillagers, shoot for 4. I was playing Death Raider Elites? Okay, and then attacks with the Death Raider Elite. Next turn we'll gain 4 off Mercalt. I think should have played the Hunt Sent Pillagers this turn, because it still would have dealt 4, and would have had 2 attackers next turn. Though I guess the thing is, next turn can Death Raider Elites into Violent Discharge, and that wins the game. And yeah, Rodzos can't afford to keep back blockers because Death Raider Elite. Scary. If Rodzos just plays Ghastly Spirit and doesn't actually attack, then it's just game over. Okay, swings in with Mercalt, runs out the Wicked Fossil for additional life gain. Finally getting those red sources. Let's see, what can you put together? Death Raider Elite coming down. Oh no, this is lethal, I think. Yeah, this is lethal. Hunt Sent Pillagers. These are another 4. And that's it. Whew. And in, I think, what was intensely close games, Kilgaris edges it out 2-1 over Rodzos. I think it all came down, I think, 1, not keeping Gate of Realms in that opening hand, game 3, and 2, not taking Instincts of the Pack. I think Rodzos should have learned to respect the Instincts of the Pack, but I think the main thing is taking the creature doesn't really, the dash creature, it doesn't matter without Instincts of the Pack because it isn't a repeatable source of burn, and you can usually outclock it with Mercalt. The problem is, with these Instincts of the Pack, they just turn all of your creatures into repeatable burn, and they just don't care about your board presence. So, but yeah, whew. Good games to both players, and Hyenas is rotating this month, so winning its first match in this tournament is pretty good. Maybe we'll even see a top 8 by the tribe before it leaves the format. But yeah, until then, this is Caillou signing off.